Okay. Okay, so uh I have thought about this for an intro. I'm just gonna start saying words and that's gonna be the intro. We can try again in a different episode. Is that okay with you two?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
And we can edit in like a clip if there's if we want a real intro.
Yeah, sure. Okay, but okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to Schway at Shwarbage, a Batman, Bat fan, Bat review, Bat pod, Batcast. Uh I'm Will.
Hi, Will. I'm Jack.
Hi Jack.
Hi,
Who's this
Jack
guy?
and Will. I'm not going to say.
What a mystery. If only we knew a detective who could solve mysteries.
Well, look
It's
no
Batman.
more than Detective
Yeah.
Comics 34.
38.
Well, I was reading 34 just 5 minutes
Oh.
ago. I did read 38, but I read 34.
Okay, good. So yeah, this is a Batman review podcast. Today we have a few subjects to go over. I guess you've just picked which one we're going to start on, Quentin. Shall we start with Detective Comics 38?
Why don't we go over the general format?
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. So, we're going to start and we've already done that. You heard our fantastic intro. So we have three topics for today. The show will be broken up into three segments. We're going to start with, one of them, and then when we think we've said our fill on it, we'll move on to the next one, and then on to the next topic. We have an issue of Detective Comics, Detective Comics 38 to be specific. Then we have an episode of Batman Beyond, Season 1, Episode 4. And then we're going to have a brief discussion on Batman tropes.
So yeah, as you can see from that, we are willing to tackle a eclectic mediums of as long as it's related to Batman, it's fair game.
Nothing is safe.
nothing is off limits for us.
Okay, so shall we start with 38?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, a brief description. The title of this issue is Detective Comics 38. Batman presents the sensational character find of 1940, Robin the Boy Wonder. A brief description. I just said the description, but it was written by Bill Finger, Jerry Siegel, Gordon Fox, Chaz Grothkopf, Jack Linton, Rick Martin, and yeah, those are all the people who wrote this issue. Because there's more than one story, but we're just reading the Batman one.
Yeah. You know what really surprised me?
What surprised you?
I really did not think that Robin was introduced this early in just the this is 38. There are thousands of issues of Detective Comics.
This comic is from April 1940.
Yeah.
Christ.
His Robin's anniversaries are always only 1 year after Batman's. He's very recent. He's right on his tail.
One thing I love about the title of this is the sensational character find of 1940, as if Robin already existed. They just had to find him.
Yeah.
He existed somewhere. They found him. This issue actually existed somewhere in the office for they printed it a year ago, and they finally found it underneath a fucking couch somewhere.
I agree. That's very surprising. You know what I found surprising?
What did you find surprising?
The fact that Tony Zucco looked like a frog.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
He kind of does look like a frog. I just looked at his introduction panel.
Yeah, it's very surprising because I hadn't this is the first time I've read this issue, but in my head he looks like how he does in Batman the Animated Series, where he's just a typical kind of mobster. He still looks like that, but in this it's very frog-like.
Yes. So
why don't we go over the plot? Start from the beginning and.
Well, it starts with our introduction to Haley's Circus, where we see a little boy named Dick Grayson and his parents, who are introduced on the same panel that they fall to their death.
Yep. There's no other panel. Well,
I assume the same thing happened with Batman's parents, though.
I believe so.
yeah. Well, there are actually
Or s-
2 panels for them.
Oh,
They get one more.
poor John and Mary.
And so after Robin's parents tragically die because Haley Circus did not pay Tony Zucco protection money, he is adopted by Batman and is trained to fight crime, and then helps solves the case because Batman did not know it was Tony Zucco at first. And then he helps Batman take down the goons at a skyscraper that was under construction. Did I miss anything?
Is it true that he did not know it was Tony Zucco at first? I think when Batman first gets in the car with Robin, he says like it's all Tony Zucco.
Yeah,
you might be correct. That sounds right, actually.
No, I think what he said was you don't want to go to the police. This entire area is covered with Zucco goons, and they will kill you.
Nice.
So he
really,
definitely
Robin
did
didn't do
know.
anything except
Okay,
murder
well
someone.
then I guess the whole detective solving part of this is very pointless.
Oh yes.
This
yes.
is a it's not an Action Comics issue, but this is definitively an action story
Yeah.
rather than a detective one.
100%.
One thing that I love. Oh, Quentin, you go first.
No, because mine is more of a deviation segment type thing.
So
What would
was
you like to
mine.
say? Oh, well, I was going to bring up the fact that this has just kind of become the very basic Dick Grayson Robin story. How do you think this first jaunt into it ranks among all of the different sort of interpretations that have been done on it over the years?
Well, it's not as good as Batman Forever Robin.
Oh wow! Really? Was that a serious or was that a goof?
No, that was a sarcasm. That was
Okay.
a cool sarcasm I did.
I don't know. I feel like he's not angsty enough in this, like he is in Batman Forever.
Yeah.
I think his inclusion in the Batman.
So, just be clear for posterity, as there's a new movie coming out called The Batman.
Oh,
What
no.
piece of media are you referring to when you say The Batman?
I'm referring to the early 2000s animated cartoon The Batman.
I want to make it very clear to any and all who may be listening. When we say the Batman, we will never be talking about the new movie.
Never, ever, ever. Until it has
We will be
come
calling
out.
it the new Batman movie.
Yes,
we
the
will
new
not be
Batman
calling
movie.
it the Batman.
Even when we are in our twilight years and 30 other Batman movies have come out, we will be calling it the new Batman movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
I forgot what your question was, Quentin, but should I say what I was going to say, or do you want to repeat your question?
Well, because I think that you have consumed, our resident expert, you have consumed enough Batmanium to know most of, if not all of, just the different Dick Grayson origin variations. And I was just asking how you thought this ranks. Like,
I think it's very good. It's it's the original, and they I'm glad it's Tony Zucco, because the Batman Forever, which is not good. I made a joke. It's not good. They replaced it with Two-Face, and then like Two-Face is the villain of that movie, and they don't do anything with it.
Yep.
I think it's good to make it Zucco, he dies at the end of this.
He does.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to send you to the electric chair. Hold on. Can I give you the exact?
Oh yes, please give this.
I want to give you the exact quote because I wrote it down because I thought it was hilarious. Let's see, where did I put it? Frick. Oh yeah, he says something along the lines of like, I had that boy bring a camera so we could like catch you pushing the guy off the building. Boss Zucco, your boss will be the electric chair. And that's what Batman says.
Jeez.
I think going off of that, we can talk about the fact that this comic clearly predates the no-kill rule.
Yeah,
very much so.
and Robin is shown to kick someone off of a high building.
Yeah, I took a screenshot of that. I was, oh man. Also, uh, who was it? But like the guy who Tony Zucco pushes off the skyscraper, they don't save him.
No.
The panel, there's the panel of Robin like filming it on the camera. Batman and Robin both let him fall.
Observe and report. They don't they don't intervene. They just got to get the evidence to put Tony Zucco into the electric chair. That guy's life means nothing to Batman.
I wanna go on a tangent real quick, just very quick.
Of course.
About at the start of this, there is Batman. And like Dick Grayson's parents have just died seconds before.
Oh.
And Batman just walks in.
Yeah.
Like he was already there. And is like, don't go to the police. And then they get in the old Batmobile, which I love because it's just a red car.
Well,
and it's very funny.
Are you saying that Bruce Wayne, billionaire extraordinaire, is not allowed to enjoy the circus?
Here's what I will say. I think it's one hell of a coincidence that Dick Grayson's parents died and Batman was already there waiting to adopt a kid. And then it happened again with Jason Todd because Jason Todd's original origin story was that he was a circus performer whose parents died. I think Batman does this on purpose to get Robin.
You're suggesting he collaborated with Tony Zucco.
Of course I am.
So there are two possibilities here. Either he is collaborating with all of these mob bosses to kill the parents of young teenagers, or, and this is the second option, we do have Batman does have a superpower that we have all neglected, and it is being able to see into the time stream and only specifically pick out the moments that teenage boys' parents die.
Of course.
Well, maybe he's just a circus aficionado. You ever thought about that? I mean, that's the canonical. So if we accept the Jason Todd and the Dick Grayson story, then that is the canonical description of Batman, is that Bruce Wayne just enjoys circuses and goes alone often.
That
he went alone. He did not bring anyone.
Not even a date. No. And that actually does sort of segue into something I've been thinking about for this show. Can we keep a running list of all of the things that we retroactively are confirming as a part of the Batman canon?
I actually really wanted to do this. I have one in mind, but it sounds like you do too. So you shoot.
No, I was just talking about keeping that running list in maybe a document somewhere and adding Bruce Wayne circus aficionado.
Yeah,
you know what else we should add?
Oh, what else?
Yeah. He smokes a lot in this issue.
Really?
Every panel he's not in the Batman costume, he does have a pipe in his mouth.
That, except for the ones where he's training.
Yeah, true.
Our young Robin man.
I count those as he's Batman.
I guess it was 1940. I mean,
it was.
It's not. Yeah, Batman smoker.
Also, what is this panel of him swearing Dick Grayson in as Robin by candlelight?
Taking the oath of office.
They could be anywhere right now. I don't like the location of where this is taking place is one of the most mind-boggling mysteries that has ever graced my cranium.
Yeah, we've talked enough about story. The art in this is not great, guys.
No.
Oh yeah, I especially like the jujitsu panel where neither Batman nor Robin have a face.
Nope.
Where Batman is teaching Robin jujitsu.
You know what my favorite panel in this whole issue is?
What?
It's when Batman just I do not comprehend how this ties into the plot. He just starts beating up like some of Tony Zucco's like goons, and he goes into a casino and he throws 3 different tables. He literally picks up. There's a frame of him lifting up like a backgammon table or whatever, and just throwing it across the room, and then he does it again.
So I think my favorite.
People are picking up the money.
Oh, people are picking up the money.
That's noteworthy.
I think my favorite part of this entire thing is the panel where he does have the roulette table flying through the air with it as if he is some Superman like god figure. Like, that's not how physics work at all.
That is exactly my favorite, and the best part is the next panel when he's throwing it, he's like throwing it left to right, despite having lifted it over his head, meaning that he lifted it above his head and carried it around like that, then lowered it to his side and threw it.
I don't get that at all, but that does go into Jack, the panel you were talking about earlier where the people are picking up the money, and it does have my favorite unnamed background character, this gentleman here with the incredibly detailed face.
I'm looking right at him. I know who you're talking about.
Who seems to have soaked up all of the other facial detail out of every single other character in the issue, and just looks.
Do you want to read out this guy's? Are you looking at the panel right now?
I am. Would you like me to read it? Quentin.
You can just read out what he says.
Quentin, go for it.
$100 bill! Whoopee! Here's my chance to get back what I lost. Wait, is that?
Wait, who are you thinking of, Jack? Because that's who we were both looking at.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's him.
But
yeah, he's a beautiful man.
I love him.
He's in the A-list.
You can't blame that guy for taking all of the face design, because every panel of Tony Zucco, it looks like, to make a Batman reference for a second, it looks like Clayface.
Yep.
Like, this is not the face a normal human should have, but there's so much detail into the nothing.
It looks like every single oil baron in every single political cartoon at once. That's what I think Tony Zucco looks like.
It's from a 1940 cartoon where he's like holding a bag that says like wealth.
Wealth.
Yeah, he looks like a Captain Planet villain.
Yep. So, we have had a nice grand old time with our fun buddy Detective Comics
38.
38. I was about to say 28 and then I was like, that's not right. 38. But shall we move on to Jack's segment?
I guess it's a bit of a if we're gonna call it my segment.
It was your suggestion. This topic was suggested by Jack.
Yes, this was.
And by the way, the first one was suggested by me.
By Will. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and introduce our next section. So my suggestion was Batman Beyond, the 90s animated series, featuring Terry McGinnis as Batman. Season 1, Episode 4, called Golem. And the reason I chose this episode is I believe this episode has some kind of, specifically the character introduces, has a kind of legacy, I think, in internet culture that few other C-list Batman villains have.
No.
C-list is a touch generous, I'd say.
You mean
maybe D-list? Yeah, okay.
You mean incel? You mean that he's an incel?
Yes, I do mean that he's an incel.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about Willy Watt, the greatest fictional character to ever exist. He is like the most nerd design a nerd character can have.
His haircut is indescribable. You'll have to look up his haircut if you've never seen it.
Just watch this episode, please.
Go ahead.
I think that Willy Watt is a wonderful dark mirror to just at least my Willy Watt is how I think everyone sees me. I'm gonna come out here and say
Wow.
that. I think
I need an explanation, Quentin.
Well, let me just
You
say
really
that.
have that low self-esteem, or
He
are you a
is
fan of Willy? What?
he is the self-insert of the one person on the crew of Batman Beyond that hated themselves. Like, you have to have some darkness in your soul to write a character that incredibly pathetic. I do not watching him just get dicked over one event after another just by every single other person in his life, and then he was just like, he was not, I could not sympathize with him is what I'm trying to say.
I don't think I think you're supposed to at first, but he goes off the rails pretty hard.
Very quickly. I can go ahead and give a rundown of the plot for those who
that would be
seen
great.
No, yes,
Actually,
yes.
before you do so, I would like to read the description from HBO Max.
Oh yes, please.
You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
An insecure teenager takes revenge against his tormentors using a living statue known as the Golem. That's not exactly what happens.
Nope.
Living statue implies that it's not just a robot he has.
Well, there is some weirdness with the actual statue that we can get to, like to what extent it is living, and to what extent it is just a robot.
So give us an explanation, Jack.
Okay, so feel free to jump in whenever. But this episode begins with our villain Willy Watt. Before he's become a villain, he's asking a girl named Blade. And he's asking to kind of have, like, he clearly got something going on with this girl. He clearly wants to, like...
Facts.
Yeah, he clearly wants to go on a date with her eventually, but at first he just is asking her if she needs any help with her studies, and so he's offering to become her tutor. But she does not, but this is interrupted by the coming in of who, I don't know if it's exactly fair to this... say it's her boyfriend. It's kind of her boyfriend. The bully
in on again, off again kind of thing.
Yeah, Nelson Nash himself, the legend, the man, the myth, the legend, Nelson Nash,
and Chad.
Well, Jack, am I mistaken here when I say that we have a Schway watch in order? Maybe.
I
yes,
have it.
We do. Yes. I wrote down Schway outfit because that's what they say. I don't remember who says that to who.
I didn't write down what he said, but our Schway count is 1 and our TWIP count is 5.
Oh, the TWIP count goes off the roof in this episode.
It's so high.
This is one of the best episodes for saying TWIP ever. Yeah, if you don't know, Batman Beyond is set in the future, and they use a lot of future lingo, such as Schway, which is the title word of this podcast,
and we'll get to Shwarbage, but no one explain it.
Not yet.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll get to Shwarbage.
We're keeping it.
But Terry McGinnis, the new Batman, who was taken over from Bruce Wayne, he comes up and he kind of rescues Terry because Nelson Nash apparently fears. Oh. He rescues Willy. My apologies. Nelson Nash seems to fear Terry in this, which is pretty funny to me. I don't know why.
Also kind of out of character. It does not play like that usually.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, Terry comes. So Terry is a benevolent guy in this episode. Terry is a very in this character. In this episode, he is very nice to Willy at every opportunity, until he ends up fighting Willy at the end of the episode. But he is not a bully. He's a stand-up man, Terry.
I'm so glad.
But then Willy after this bully, he's telling his dad about this. Willy's dad is quite an important character in this episode.
I don't remember his name, but you are correct.
No, I don't know if it's even stated. It might be stated, but it's Willy's dad is the character, and he just dunks on Willy. He's just like, you suck, Willy. You gotta show these guys who are bullying you. You gotta stand up to them. You gotta hit them where it hurts, is what he says. And so Willy takes this to me, and Willy's dad is the guy who owns the eponymous golem. He's like a construction manager who uses this big golem robot to construct things.
So if we could get a little bit more of a description on the golem itself and its functionality, what it just sort of is, the mechanics behind it.
So,
no, go ahead, Will.
So it is a construction robot that is designed to help build skyscrapers. It lifts heavy material. It puts steel beams in place. It's actually not spelled GOLEM, which is how the episode is titled. It's GLM, galvanic lifter machine. Also, for some reason, it has like rocket arms and a flamethrower, and they don't really explain that.
The flamethrower really stood out to me. I don't know why. It's not just a standard size flamethrower. This robot is very large, and the flamethrower is itself very, very large and puts out.
It's like a wall of fire. Like you cannot justify it's for welding. Nope. That was like a laser beam.
Yep. It's an attack robot.
Yeah, and I'd like to hear you all's thought on this golem, because it's the essential crux of this episode is the fact that the golem is controlled by your mind. Like you have
you have a magic helmet.
Yeah, and what you do, like if you move your hands, like the golem moves its hands. This is future technology, so we can't talk about how it works, but it is very strange how it ends up affecting Willy's brain later on in the episode. Like, it's just a very strange piece of technology. The Golem Control Set. The Golem itself makes sense. It's a big robot that can shoot fire if it wants to. That checks out. But the control method is very interesting.
Well, so yeah, you control it by moving. However you move, the robot also moves.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Willy uses the golem to destroy the bully's car, and then Terry McGinnis Batman throws a bomb in its eye, Willy's brain gets electrocuted, and now he can control the golem without needing the helmet.
Which is something that's kind of a trope that I have always sort of never
questioned.
No, I've always questioned it. I've never understood how in a lot of, of course, mostly animated things, damaging the robot or the machine or whatever somehow feeds back and destroys the control mechanism.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
And I would like to elaborate on the method of electrocution. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no, please go ahead. I must.
He punches like Terry moves out of the way of like an elevator, and he punches like the thing that moves an elevator up and down, like the shaft of the elevator, and that just sends out, for some reason, an insane amount of, I don't know how much electricity is used in an elevator, but that sends out an insane amount of electricity.
An incredible amount.
But this does not electrocute Willy himself. It just electrocutes the golem. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense why it would, but it does electrocute Willy, even though he's standing like football field away.
Somehow through the signal, the electricity has traveled.
I have a theory, and this is gonna. Do you mind if I kind of cut the spoiling the end of the episode? Because I want to talk about a quick theory I have. So it is revealed, because this is the DC universe, Willy has become a metahuman by the end of this episode, and can now just control technology with his mind, and then his powers evolve later on, but for now that's what he can do. I'm gonna say he might have already been meta, which is why he reacted so severely to the golem getting electrocuted, because it can just sometimes happen naturally.
Okay, you know what? I actually do. That is a good theory. I had also created some sort of theory on how this entire thing took place from the moment. Well, explaining how the control mechanism actually works to how his metagene might have been activated. I think that maybe what it might be is the control mechanism relays the nervous signals sent from the brain
to the robot.
So when the signal is being sent out from the brain, it's being sent two places. First, to the human body, and second, an exact copy to the robot. So having it connected to the nervous system, and here's my one fault with this theory, is that it's not physically connected to him in any which way. It is a headset that is placed like a halo around his head.
Yeah, it's like a VR headset like that you see today. It does not actually plug into his brain in any way.
Yeah, it uses scanners probably.
Yeah, but what I was going to say was, instead of actual electricity, what we were seeing was the effect of a feedback loop sent back through his nervous system.
Okay, I like that.
And that would have effectively triggered some sort of, reaction to his metagene.
Can I go on a quick little tangent of something I think is very funny?
Yes.
Please.
So, Willy gets thrown, because he goes to a dance at the pier at one point. We didn't explain the plot well, but you go watch the episode if you want to know.
Yep.
Willy gets
dance with the girl. With the girl
yeah,
from the
with
start.
the girl
the girl
he was
has
interested
invited him to spite Nelson Nash, not because she actually is interested in Willy. She has invited Willy to the dance, but she doesn't really want him to be there, so he's kind of not having a good time.
Yes, thank you. And so Nelson Nash, American icon, grabs Willy and throws him into the Gotham River, at which point he climbs back out. He summons the Golem then to do battle with Nelson Nash and Batman. But when he gets out, he's all wet and stuff, and everyone laughs at him. But there's one guy, one extra.
I noticed this exact guy.
The exact line.
I don't think you do, because he goes, it's Willy! And instead of making fun of him, he sounds genuinely actually happy to see him.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
I know,
guy.
you guys can talk about it, but what I was talking about is he climbs out and one guy goes, it's Willy! Really excited.
Hey, my friend Willy!
I think we could spend hours talking about the things that the background characters say when Willy emerges, because they're all golden. I noted down the very long line of one guy talking, and I'd like to read it out. This guy, I won't be able to do his voice perfectly, but imagine a frat boy type voice. And
I am doing it.
I'm doing it in my head.
I'll read out the entirety of what he says. Ha ha ha, wah wah ha ha, he's all wet. Look at him, wah ha ha ha, look, he's all wet. Ha ha ha, what a nerd.
What a monologue.
He says he's all wet twice. And and this is the same guy, just going, what a nerd, ha ha ha. And he doesn't really laugh. He says ha ha ha.
He says it phonetically?
Basically he says ha ha ha. Yeah.
Quentin?
Yep.
Would you like to tell us about a background character or background line that really stood out to you this episode?
Well, there's so many. I think the standout for me has to be Wet Willy, which is a joke I think that they were setting up the entire time. I actually think
it's why he was named Willy.
Yeah, the entire basis for the episode came from one-liner, or a thought. What if we had a character named Willy, like Wet Willy? And then they were like, great. And then it was also Hanukkah, and they were like, but what could we use? What gimmick? And they said, a golem. And they were like, well, how'd you get that? And this is something I will go into, or I was planning to go into later, is the fact that they are clearly drawing a parallel to the original Jewish myth of the golem, with this episode. And
would you care to go more into that?
Yes, I would. So initially in the myth of uh, the golem was a clay man built by a rabbi because the Jewish people were under they were constantly being attacked and treated unfairly by the majority of the Christian community in the city that they were currently in. So what he did was he built this big clay golem and imbued it with life, putting a symbol on its forehead. Eventually, this golem became a almost superhero-like figure who defended the Jewish people until eventually the Christians cut a deal with the Jewish people and they deactivated the golem because it went on a rampage and killed everyone, or killed a majority of people. No Jewish people though, just Christians, as it was programmed to do. So my case for it being a parallel to this was we clearly have the weak underdog Willy here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have the oppressive figure.
Nelson Nash.
Correct. Now I am saying with the most certainty, and I haven't looked it up yet, but I am going to in a second, that it is an attempted parallel to this original myth.
I totally buy it.
So in this version of the myth, both the Jewish community and the Christians are portrayed quite unflatteringly in the characters of Willy and Nelson.
Oh, very much.
Yeah.
That's true, but I don't think it's a retelling. I do think it's just an homage.
Homage. That's interesting. I wasn't familiar with the story,
so. I don't have much else to say on this episode besides talking about like the funny intro and the great animation, but I feel like we could save that for a Batman Beyond episode.
I think we might as well talk about how the episode resolves.
Oh yeah.
So
Willy's dad teleports, like he had been out of the episode for like 10 minutes and then just walks on screen to talk to Willy.
School dance for some reason. He I assume he was chasing his golem around, like he's trying to, because this is his golem that Willy stole. His knowledge, yeah.
How did he do that? Because one of the guys is like, it was here when I was on my break. How did Willy sneak it away?
That's a good question. It's not really clear how Willy stole such a large piece of technology without anyone really noticing, or figuring out it was him until the very end.
Okay. Look, I want you to look at Willy for a second. I want you to look at that man.
He looks like a baby Hugo Strange.
Yeah. You're telling me that man didn't have a phase where he learned the mystic arts of magic?
He studied the blade.
He studied the blade, but instead
he fucking would.
You're right. No, but I'm saying he pulled off a little bit of smoke and mirrors with actual, probably just mirrors, but maybe caused it to disappearing elephant, except a little bit larger scale.
Maybe this is where his meta gene first kicked in. Actually, was before the electrocution event somehow allowed it to make it easier for him to steal the gold.
Yeah, he actually has two powers. His other one is making things invisible.
But technology specifically.
Yeah.
Shade.
And if we could conclude on the subject of Willy's dad, after Terry defeats Willy in an epic battle at the school dance on this like rafter building type place, which is actually now that I think about. No, but they're up high, like
Oh yeah, they walk up to a building.
Yeah,
that was being constructed.
Actually reminiscent of the one that they fight on in Detective Comics 38.
I made that connection as well. I did.
I did.
but Willy is like being taken away by the police at the end. Or Terry says like, you better talk to him now because you're not gonna see him for a while. And Willy's dad goes,
Oh my god.
guess that means he ain't no wuss anymore. Very optimistic way to look at it.
And the smile slowly disappears from his face as he gets no recognition from Terry. He's just like, I can see all at once he realizes that he's a shitty dad.
Yeah, you can see the second it happens.
Yeah, and also, out of a plot contrivance, Willy's dad can't swim, so Terry has to save him. I just thought that was noteworthy.
Okay, boys.
Yep.
The audience has to go easy on us because it is our first episode. We did forget to do this very important task for the first one, and we need to do it now as well.
Well, I was thinking that might have come at the end. Maybe for right now. That we'll try out the formula a little bit. I'm trying to cover our ass up here, Will. We made a big fucking mistake.
I know. I noticed like 10 minutes ago, and have been like secretly panicking about it.
I know. I've been thinking about it this entire time too.
Did.
Anyway, Will, you can take it away for us.
Okay, so let's do this one first because we're right here. We can do this clean.
Yep.
Batman Beyond Season 1, Episode 4, Golem. I'll start, then Jack, then Quentin. Let's go in a circle. Is it Schway or Shwarbage?
Oh, no, we forgot.
Okay, I think this episode, it's Schway. It's great. It's a blast. Jack?
Yes, this is a Schway episode. It's very entertaining. It's kind of a Monster of the Week type episode, because Terry doesn't get a lot of development. It's actually Terry's girlfriend gets the most development out of any non-Willy character. It is a very fun episode.
It is now officially Schway. It's gotten the majority. Quentin, is this unanimously Schway?
Guys, I'm gonna have to be clear with you here. I'm voting Schwarbage.
Really?
Elaborate.
Yeah, please.
Now, here's where the sort of faults that we're already poking in our sort of very aggressively one side or the other system here.
Yeah, there is no middle option.
It's a binary.
Because I think that if there was a middle option, I would pick it. I don't think that this episode does anything egregiously bad, but I would make the case that none of the characters introduced are even remotely likable. There is not one single moment where I felt for. I hated these guys so much. The girlfriend was garbage.
Yes, all of these people are awful.
Yeah,
Nash, Willy, Blade, I believe her name was.
Yeah, her name is Blade.
Yeah. All of them just do mean things all the time in this episode.
And Blade was like the perfect mixture of like being. She was such a nothing character because she wanted to get with the one guy, but she didn't want to get with the one guy, but she wanted to be with Willy to make him jealous, but she didn't want to be around Willy all too much. But the one guy was sort of like an awful. The motivation for that was the guy was like an awful prick to her when she was about to die. So her motivation for wanting to get back with him makes absolutely no sense. Beyond
That's fair.
that, again, I don't think that we get any sort of development of Terry. I think it actually takes his character development back a couple of notches, and makes him into some sort of like one note, as you sort of went over, sort of fucking just.
He's just a good guy in this episode. He's just a pretty generic hero character in this episode, I guess.
Exactly. I think that what would have really made this episode work for me is if they'd added a scene maybe somewhere during the part where Willy is introduced, where we sort of see Terry go to, because it is unanimously every single person goes to rag on him except for maybe that one background guy.
Willy.
It's Willy.
It's Willy. But maybe just like his gut instinct is to sort of like make fun of this guy, but then he sees, and I keep forgetting his name.
Nelson Nash.
Jesus.
American icon.
Then he sees Nash sort of going a little bit too far and ragging on him a bit. So then he's more like, no, stop it. I think that sort of approach would have been a lot more Terry to me. So
Yeah.
Using our
that's fair.
terribly aggressive system, I'm going to have to give this a Shwarbage.
I think that's fine. Because that means overall it is mixed, which is your actual opinion on it.
Yeah. Someone had to say, I think it's fair we don't give us a unanimous. It's not the best Batman Beyond episode.
No.
Okay, so now that we've done that, let's travel back in time, roughly 30 minutes, 25, whatever. Detective Comics 38. Jack first, then Quentin, then me, Schway or Schwarbage.
This one is hard to judge because judging it on modern standards, it is not a great piece of art. Like, it's, as we said, the art is not very good. It has a kind of problem that I feel like a lot of old comics have, which is just being too wordy sometimes for no real reason at all. Just being very text heavy when the text doesn't actually contribute anything. I don't know if that's just a me thing or if that's or if you guys agree.
No,
but
absolutely.
You're right, yeah.
But I do think that the circus. I think it's a good origin story for a sidekick. I think that the circus origin for Dick Grayson has a lot of good legacy, and I appreciate that. But I'm just gonna say it's Schwarbage because it's not that great, but it is. I do like what it sets up for.
Okay.
Quentin?
I am going to have to acknowledge that this is a layered cake that we're working with here. I'd say that the art is pretty Schwarbage. I would say that the story presented here is Schway.
Okay.
I'd have to say that some of the
I
scenes
agree with you.
are incredibly Schwarbage. Just like how they are balanced. And some of the fight scenes go on for too long, or they're too short, or some of the dialogue is, I'd have to say that the one-liners, though, that's some Schway shit. Here, have a table to play with is a fucking banger. So I'm gonna have to give this a Schway. Completely carried by the one-liner lines in this comic. How about you, Will? Deliver the verdict.
So it's up to me. Well, after long consideration, it's Schwarbage. It's not good. The pacing is wacky. Like, I did not even know Dick Grayson had parents until after they died. Batman throws so many tables so easily. They kill so many people. I can see why it stuck around because there is good to it, and I love Robin. I love Dick Grayson. It's great. It's ridiculous though. This story is just a bunch of like nonsense happening. Why was Dick Grayson a paper boy for like 3 pages?
He had
What
to
is
get
happening
They had to
this
go
story?
undercover. You don't understand, Will. There's a very
No,
important
but
reason.
It's
we
Detective
established
Comic.
Batman already knew it was Tony Zucco.
Yeah.
Why
but
did he do it?
He had to know when the next big gig was happening.
Shakedown was gonna be.
Who cares? Just go get him.
Or kill him, apparently.
Yeah, which you are totally down with doing. You ended up killing him anyway. He got the electric chair.
Exactly.
Just walk in and kill him.
It would be funny if that's what he was expecting the entire time, and then he got an entirely different execution method used on him.
Okay. So, we have finished our show. We have finished our comic.
Yep.
Quentin, tell us what you wanted us to talk about.
So I think that Batman being a series and of comics and shows, just like an icon, for all of these years, referenced in other media that it has nothing to do with. Um, there are some tropes that have stuck around, um, just sort of pertaining to several different things that I think specifically can be and should be done away with.
Let's hear it.
So I have prepared one. I don't know how many, Quentin, you had in mind.
I'm just sort of riffing here, but I got a couple in mind, yeah.
Okay, so you have a couple. I only have one. I don't know. Jack, do you have any?
I'm just prepared to listen to what you all have.
Quentin, you start us off with one. I'll give another one, then you give us a final one.
Okay. So, I think that the entire Bruce Wayne is not allowed to have any fun outside or just like, I think that it is something that has been on and off over the years, but the stories in which Bruce Wayne can just go out and sort of be Bruce Wayne and not have it be clearly a forced farce. Like, I think the Michael Keaton Batman, where he's a little bit jokey,
yeah,
and like that is like my perfect. That is the perfect mixture of Bruce and Bat. But I think that there are just some versions where he just cannot. Like, I'm forgetting the character or the actor's name. But
Ben Affleck.
Yes, Ben Affleck for sure. Yes. So the Ben Affleck Batman, because he's just Batman. That is it. He goes out of the Batcave. He is Bruce Wayne, but it's clearly business. We never get enough palpable, like, they might as well be the same character, is what I'm saying. He is Batman 24/7.
Yeah, there's no Bruce Wayne. I think that's also, to play Ben Affleck's advocate, he is also, like, basically not a single scene is dedicated to him in any of the movies he's been in. It's like, even in Batman vs. Superman, that's just a Superman movie where Batman showed up occasionally.
Okay, devil's advocate for your devil's advocate. They have that entire scene in the crypt. Or wherever it took place. I think it was a crypt. I haven't seen this movie in a while, but
I don't remember this. Is this extended feature, or is this just a thing I forgot because that movie was bad?
Probably a thing that you forgot because the movie is bad. Because the setting doesn't matter. You're going to remember the line. It's just one continuous shouted word. A name, actually.
Okay, You're right.
Martha. Yeah. If you
this
do
is
remember.
about the one part of this movie I'm familiar with.
Okay, we've gotten off topic.
Yeah.
Batman should be allowed to have fun. Look at him in The Batman. Only one season of that show is good.
He balls in that show.
Yeah. It also happens to be the only season where he constantly watches and plays basketball, and that was like his personality.
I think that was such a cool thing to add to his character.
Yeah, he's a sportsman. He's a sports master.
He's a sports master. I also think that I don't think that a lot of romantic relationships are handled very well. I do like his relationship with Vicky Vale in that in that show.
Yeah. Batman
very
89. It's great.
Very good casual dating relationship. So
this is, you have just awakened in me a fire, which is that I don't like Batman. I mean, this is just like nerd ship shit.
I don't like Batman.
No, I don't like Batman dating supervillains. I feel like Catwoman doesn't work. Like Catwoman works better in modern, where she's basically just a hero now. but I don't think Talia works at all. I don't know. This is
Talia's
very opinionated, but yeah.
I think Talia is different because it's a whole I can fix you thing, because she is very
But
clearly
can he though?
she's very clearly under the influence of her father. I think that she works so well, their on and off relationship works so well because she won't, because he never will, because that's who she is and the way that she was raised. It's not something that he
she's
can
also a
change.
terrorist.
Well, yeah,
And has killed plenty of people.
lots of them.
Well, so is Batman if we take Detective Comics 38 into.
Fair point. I've been out argued.
That is true.
I'll just take my opinion and put it in the trash over here.
I mean, that's like saying he shouldn't have taken Damien in. He's a terrorist.
Yeah, but that's a child. That's not an adult making their own bad decisions. That's a child.
Well, again, that's my point, is that I think that Damien is sort of how or Bruce or Batman sees Talia, as someone who can be taught a better way of doing things.
Hey, Quentin.
Yeah?
I just want to make sure you know this, because we are planning on doing this more. You do know Bruce and Batman are the same person. You don't have to say both.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I know that it wasn't him in Batman Beyond, but that's because Terry replaced him in that show.
And Bruce is not Batman. He's the old guy who tells Terry what to do. I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's the old guy in the Batcave.
Yeah, but you guys know that's afterwards, right?
Wait, what? The before times?
Yeah.
No, that was Terry McGinnis in Detective Comics 38, wasn't it?
I don't think so. I could be wrong. I'm not Wikipedia.
Okay, not Wikipedia.
Well, we'll trust you on this one, but do your own research.
Yeah. Jack, have you found anything in your soul that you could
like
see
to add?
done away with?
Well, I think there's so many like parts. There's so many aspects to Batman. Like you talk about the Bruce Wayne, like is he like having fun, and then the romance, and then it just makes me realize how impossible it is to like fit all of this into a single story.
Yeah.
Like there's no story that's gonna have like a good romance with Batman, like a good like Bruce Wayne, like good Bruce Wayne, good detective work, good action. Like there's just so like there's so much accumulation with the character, and I think that's good. That's what makes it interesting because you get to see a lot of different takes.
Yeah, you get to pick and choose what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. I think it gives writers a lot of freedom to like.
Would you call it Schway?
I would call it what Schway? Just the character of Batman. Would I call it Schway?
Yeah.
Would we give the franchise Batman a Schway or a Shwarbage?
You're Shwarbage.
Well, no, you're gonna spoil our final episode.
That will be our zenith.
All right, guys, we're coming back after just having read every comic, watched every movie, watched every show.
Honestly, if we had to do that, it might be Schwarbage. Having to do all of it.
Our lives have been artificially prolonged by 80 years so that we can absorb all of the Batman.
I have a trope I would like to discuss.
Oh?
It is a controversial one, which is why I'm interrupting you and being loud.
Okay.
You guys ready? Deep breaths, deep breaths.
I think I am.
I'm breathing.
Batman's not the world's greatest detective. At least he shouldn't be.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
He usually is not. Yeah.
Yeah, because think about it. In lore, like, other DC characters are smarter than him. And even if you want to exclude people like Brainiac for being, like, aliens, I guess he doesn't hold the title detective, but Lex Luthor's very smart.
I think
like Mr. Terrific is very smart.
That is true. I think that
also one more thing, then I'll let you guys take off with this. Like, that was Tim Drake's thing for a while. It's not anymore because writers don't know what to do with Tim Drake. But he was supposed to be like the successor to Batman because he was just as, if not more, smart. And it was set up like he was going to become the world's greatest detective. Even Ra's al Ghul like said, "Hey, you're smarter than Batman. You're the detective." And now that's just not a thing anymore because like the writers didn't want to take that away from Batman, and now they don't know what to do with Tim Drake.
And that sucks. Like that.
Yeah, Tim Drake's my favorite Robin.
Yeah, I got again following that. You actually mentioned it. The only person I think I can remember in recent memory acknowledging Batman as any sort of detective is when Ra's al Ghul lovingly acknowledges him as such.
Yeah, it's
whenever they
mostly
do meet.
just him, honestly.
Yeah, really, nobody else.
Yeah, I think you have a strong point here, Will. I think most Batman stories are not detective stories. As someone who is a fan of detective stories, I would like to see more Batman detective-y type things, like that are more about him solving something than trying to stop something or just fighting someone. But you're definitely right. I think you talk about how there are definitely characters in DC who are more capable detectives, but I think if you were to give someone a one sentence summary of Batman, like just who had come from an alien planet and never heard of Batman, you don't even need to say that he is a detective, honestly, because usually he doesn't do anything detective work. And sometimes like what is classified as detective work is not is just like something that's like technological. Like he puts something in the Bat computer and that does it for him.
Detective Vision.
Yeah, exactly. Like the actual interesting part of detective stories is like usually like interrogation or clue like piecing things together, the logical part. And I think a lot of few Batman stories have that part of the detective genre, even that makes it compelling.
I mean, and I would say that he does a lot more interrogating than he does puzzle solving.
And his interrogations aren't like they're not like real. His interrogations are, I'm dangling you over a roof. Tell me what you know.
Yep.
It's not where he has to cleverly outsmart the person into giving information. You know, like it's a forceful method, which is fine. I think, you know, if
works
it
for the
works,
story.
if that's like don't have him do something that wouldn't make sense. But
do you ever think that he is so because like of course he gave himself that title for a reason.
I think in maybe not in current continuity, but I think for a while Ra's al Ghul did give him that title, and then it just kind of stuck.
Okay, so, and now here's what I will say. Do you think he ever gets a little bit? He misses the mystery solving. So when he goes to fight Riddler, Riddler commits another wacky crime, he's like, oh wow, I get to dust off the old
detective skills.
I get to pull
I think
he's
today. Ecstatic whenever Clue Master does a crime.
Oh my god, whenever Clue Master breaks it out.
See, I really love detective stories involving Batman. Yeah. I think
Long Halloween.
Yep.
Is so good. That's a detective story.
It's a very good one too.
It is. I like that one.
But also, the length of time it takes Batman to solve it proves that he is not the world's greatest detective.
Well, the idea is like that's how he became the world, because it's like his first time he was a detective.
Oh wow! Something has just popped up in my newsfeed.
I guess the
Hold on, Jack.
Oh yes,
Quentin.
Go ahead, Quinn.
What is this? What is this Batman Danganronpa crossover?
What? No, you are lying.
What? He's lying. Well,
what?
Don't.
Oh my God! The mystery solving fun has begun, featuring Terry McGinnis.
Yes, Terry.
And
is Terry a detective?
Quentin.
Terry
I'm
McGinnis and
editing
Wet
this
Willy.
out. I don't remember which of us agreed to edit this one. We're editing this out.
Yeah, that's crazy, guys.
Okay, so is that all we wanted to talk about?
I think that's it.
Okay, so just around one last time. Start with me. Go Jack, then Quentin. Schway, Schwarbage, Danganronpa, Batman Beyond crossover.
Who's starting?
I'm starting. Schway, as a man who's only ever played Danganronpa 1 and didn't like it, I think that would be great. Schway.
I'm down for any Batman Beyond related media. So I'm gonna say Schway as well. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see Terry get involved with these wacky characters. How will he react? Is Willy Watt in the game? I feel like Willy Watt is actually a good fit.
Willy is in the game. Yes, he's one of the 2 feature characters.
Yeah, that's Schway.
Quentin?
I'm having a Victor Frankenstein-like moment where I am terrified of my own creation. And I have to say Shwarbage as I look and recoil at the monster sitting on the bed.
How dare you?
Can you say that Schwarbage again in the same tone?
Schwarbage!
Okay.
Yep. That's an isolated voice clip. Take it with you on your way out. It'll be in a little goodie bag.
We're gonna put that on a soundboard for every episode from now on.
I did a very funny and good intro. Should I improv an outro as well, or should we just end it?
Do an outro.
I think
Okay.
we could let it
Okay.
peter off.
Do you guys want to take I did the intro. Do one of you guys want to take a crack at the outro, or am I the outro guy?
No, that's all Jack. Actually, I think Jack,
Me?
you want to give an alliteration?
Say goodbye to the folks at home.
All right. I am Schway. I am Schwarbage. I'm Batman. Thank you for listening. What do you guys think of that one?
I really liked it.
That was beautiful.